All right, welcome in. It is Wednesday. It is time for Total Bases. I'll just get it out of the way now. We're going to try to do better than we did yesterday. We were cruising on this show for like over a week, and I think we all ended up in the negative yesterday. I know we hit the parlay. It was 2 out of 3. So, hey, if you played those straight, maybe you had an okay day. I was the one that ruined that with the White Sox. Brian had the A's, and Tokyo Brandon wins again with a Mariners team that just cannot lose. I'm going to go to you first, Brian. Our feature game is going to be Yankees Guardians. And I was joking with you off air. Yesterday was a day where it's like, I made one bet. It was the Nationals. It lost. Had I bet 5 games, I would have went like 0-5. So like the fact that I only played one is actually, I'm actually going in with some optimism today because it could have been a lot worse. We're going to turn it around today. We have people in the chat. Austin, love you guys from Spokane, Washington. Watch every day. Go Zags. That's, of course, where Gonzaga is. College basketball season 5 months away. I don't know. Can never come soon enough. I got my Tulane green wave shirt on today. It was clean. That's why I put it on. But Brian, Yankees Guardians to you. This one's on Amazon Prime tonight. Your Cleveland Guardians kick us off with this game.
I always thought Tulane should have named their team instead of the Green Wave, the Highways. It made sense. Tulane Highways. Come on now. All right. Yeah, it was one of those days where it was a lot of fun baseball to watch. But I had the A's on the parlay, and I used them as a free play, but had the White Sox, and they didn't get there. They took an early lead. I thought, here we go again. Nice 3-1 lead, and that went away, and so did our night because it really wasn't a good night for me, and a lot of people are in the same boat, and I apologize for that. But okay, we're looking at Cleveland and the Yankees, and another thing that we probably didn't expect was Cleveland to score as many runs as they did against the Yankees team. Now, granted, Judge is hurt. We'll see how long he's out, but it seemed to affect the New York Bats in that game, or maybe the team overall, that, hey, your best player just got hurt. Here we go again. But we'll see how it goes. Gavin Williams has been terrific. He's had in the past walk problems. He's been a lot better at that this year. And you, as a younger guy, you would expect that to happen. If your problem is a certain thing when you're young, you work on that. And he seems to be a little bit better in that. But Williams is going against Cole, who is just come out on fire from coming back from his long injury, and I'm glad to see that for baseball because he's a future Hall of Famer, plays for the Yankees, one of the most popular teams in baseball, along with the Dodgers and the Red Sox. So I'd like to see that for Yankees fans, although I've never been much of a Yankees fan because they always seem to knock my Cleveland teams out of the playoffs. But, yeah, this is going to be a really good pitchers match. How often do you see a 7 in Yankee Stadium? Not very often. But we got that today. We've got a 7 to the over or 7.5 to the under, and the Yankees are about a 160 favorite here. Williams has been terrific, as I said, and I expect both of these pitchers to have some success here. Cleveland's hottest hitter is their best hitter, and that's Hosey over at third base. That is something to keep an eye on. Anytime you've got a team with a game with a total of 7 and your hottest hitter on the team is your best hitter, similar with the Mets with Soto right now. That's something you got to keep in mind. But I think Cleveland is if I'm looking for a dog spot today, I think Cleveland is still a pretty good dog spot here. You're catching them plus 130 to 140 here. I'm even seeing a 150 at one spot here in Vegas. I may, as soon as we get off the show here, I may have to hit my app on that. But if I get 150 in here, that's definite. But, two teams right now that should get a good pitching matchup here. And the value to me is on Cleveland as long as you can get a 140. If you got to get a 130, it's not worth it. 140 and above is what I'd be interested in. And a lot of places far away right now are not there. In Vegas, if you're lucky enough to live in Vegas, you can get that type of number. But it's a good game. It's either Cleveland or nothing for me.
Let's get TB in here, the pitching guru. Do you have any pitcher stuff published today on your page? And talk to me about Guardians Yankees.
Yeah, after yesterday, I don't know if I should self-deprecate or self-defecate because I went 1-2. That's a joke. Actually, we talked about this before the show. So that was a planned joke. But anyways, yeah, I went 1-2 yesterday. My client play was on the White Sox. And when they went up 3-1, I thought, oh, Davis Martin, one of the best pitchers in MLB, he can hold this for at least another 2 innings. And he just shat. So I don't know what his problem was. But and I didn't expect those bats from Minnesota. But anyways, let's get to this game. I do on my Twitter X, Tokyo _Brandon, I actually put chronic walkers up for today. And Williams is not on the list. Last season, he would have been. Because he was a very bad walking pitcher last season. And like Brian alluded to, he seems to have worked on that. So he's not quite giving free passes out like lollipops like he was last year. So yeah, Judge is out for probably another day or two. How do we approach this? Well, Williams is pitching really well. He's not a guy I ever wanted to back since last season, but he's pitching really well this season. Garrett Cole is just an absolute stud. The only way I would look at this is an under in the first 5. And I just scanned a bunch of books, and some of them have a 4, which seems really high to me because the team totals are both 1.5 in the first 5, and 1.5 plus 1.5 is 2.5. No, it's 3. So doesn't seem to make sense to me. I think under 4 would be a good play here. After the explosion yesterday, I think things will cool off a little. That's I haven't played it, but that's how I would go if I did.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any 4s right now. It's all 3.5s.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I just saw a bunch of 4s, and I'll tell you where I saw them in just a minute. But yeah, okay. Well, Brian's numbers are probably more updated than mine, so take it away, Adam.
I'm just going to say I was the one that said I was going to come on and self-deprecate today because, of course, I had the Nationals as a client play. That lost. I gave out the White Sox as the parlay leg, and that lost. So yeah, we're gonna. But you know what? We've been all like really running good to this point. So I'm confident that the crew turns it around today. I agree with both of you here. Guardians as a dog and the under is the way I would play these games since 2021 when Aaron Judge does not play. The Yankees are 39-47. I don't think that gets enough run. When they have like the last 5 years. And so basically the last 5 years, the reason I use that sample size is because I really feel like Judge has been like the guy for that period of time. It doesn't matter as much earlier in his career, in my opinion. It's like the last 5 years, he's been one of the best hitters in baseball. When you take him out of this lineup, and he does not play, that's the win percentage. 453 win percentage. So to Brian's point, Yankees they're already overvalued every time they step on the field anyway when they're playing well. So you're getting almost like a double. It's double in terms of like the sort of extra value on the Guardians. Why like the under? Again, Brian, what did you say 7.5 was? Can you still get a 7.5 out there?
Yeah, there's 7.5s at minus 120 to 125. I'm seeing 130 offshore, but basically, yeah, 125, 120.
Listen, Gavin Williams, if he's getting outs, he's probably striking guys out, getting a lot of swing and miss. So, ballpark is sort of irrelevant if guys are not going to put the bat on the ball. He's top 10% Major League Baseball chase rate, whiff rate, strikeout rate. He's throwing the ball by hitters. He's got those great numbers in that extension column that we talked about the other day. Ball's getting on you quick. And when a guy like him is running good, and he's throwing so many more strikes this year. TV, you had sort of made the point like Gavin Williams was a guy I've been tentative to back. Well, yeah, because he used to not throw the ball. He used to not hit the zone enough.
Yeah.
He has not had a problem walking guys. And then, of course, Garrett Cole, we talked about it. He had this nice, long, extended rehab. So he came back into the big leagues already with like 6 starts under his belt. Something you love to see, especially with a veteran guy that, probably didn't have much of a spring to get his feel. So, yeah, I like the under. If you can get 7.5, I think the under is a good bet. And, Brian, I'm with you. I think the Guardians is value today. Oh, Mark Lambert, right in time. Mark says, I've got one play in so far. It's Diamondbacks money line. We have someone that watches the show daily going to this game tonight. So I told him we would get Dodgers Diamondbacks on the list for today. Tokyo Brandon, your guy on the mound, Shohei Ohtani. You called it out on this show back in March. You said, I muted myself. I don't know why I just did that. I was trying to tweak my volume. You know what? That was my fault. I thought I had my echo up too much, and I was trying to turn it and hit the button.
It's the defecation.
Yeah, that's right.
Quit doing your shows from the Alps.
TV, back in March, you said that Shohei Ohtani was going for it, was actively trying to win the Cy Young. And the reason I keep bringing that up is that was not like the cool thought until like a month and a half later. A lot of people were saying that he wasn't going to get enough innings. The Dodgers weren't even going to put him in position to do that. You've been right about that. Shohei has been incredible on the mound. He's on the mound tonight out in Chase Field in the desert, your hometown, Phoenix, Arizona, up against Zach Gallen. How are you seeing Dodgers Diamondbacks?
There is no better city in the United States than Phoenix, Arizona, in my opinion.
I love Phoenix. I'll second that. I love Phoenix.
I don't like the traffic. I do like Phoenix.
Traffic's not that bad.
Yeah, when I'm coming back and forth from those baseball games, I'm trying to catch 2 spring training games in one day.
Yeah.
The drive from Vegas to Phoenix is terrifying, though. But it's terrible.
Great
too.
They're building a highway.
I make that drive quite a lot. And what's terrifying about it, Adam?
A lot of sides.
The one stretch where you're on a road and it's like one lane going each direction and everyone's going 90. And if you're off by a little bit, you're dead. Yeah. That's
yeah. And there's a lot of speed traps too. But Wickenburg's a pretty nice place to get some
Wickenburg, a little small town.
Yeah. But anyways, onto this game. So Ohtani has failed to record 18 outs once this season. So yeah, that kind of contributes to, his power is a little bit down. And actually I did a little video on that on my YouTube channel. His power is a little down because he's working out. His workout regimen and everything is tailored towards pitching right now. But his power's down, but his hitting and his on base percent is pretty much the same. It's just the balls aren't traveling as far. And I have a feeling he's working out as a pitcher instead of a hitter, which, he's not a mere mortal. He is a unicorn. He has some pretty bad numbers against Arizona in his career, though. A 286 average against and a 756 OPS. The OPS is not bad, but the average is concerning. There are a lot of guys on this Arizona lineup that can hit him. Kind of a small sample size, 21 at-bats against. And Gallen is a guy who has a pretty poor history against the Dodgers. Not horrible, but 277 against and an 801 OPS. If anything, I would look for an over in this one just because Dodgers bats are okay. Even without Hernandez, they're still hitting pretty good. Mookie finally got his average above 200, and Tucker needs some help now. I think I might bench him next. Let's see a boost in his numbers. But yeah, I think an over it would be good here. I think the number is going to be really low because the bookmakers give Ohtani a lot of credit, which they should. He's an amazing pitcher, but I think the Diamondbacks can hit him. So I would take a Diamondbacks team total over in the first 5. Over 1.5, or I'd take a full game total over.
Brian, I thought about what you said the other day. I feel like it's really been apparent in this series so far. The Diamondbacks care about this series more than the Dodgers. I don't care how you slice it. These games are such a bigger deal for Arizona than they are for LA. One team, we see it in all sports, right? You get a team that looks like, at one team, like a rival, it's a big game for them. And then you have a team that just this is just another road trip for LA. They don't really care about Arizona. I think we've seen this for years. I think the D-backs have been getting up for this series ever since Gerardo Parra tried to shove someone into the dugout like 10 years ago on that brawl that like started at the pitcher's mound and ended up in the stands. The D-backs don't like the Dodgers, but I don't think it's mutual. And I'd love to know. I'd have to like go look at like what's the series record since then. I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona's having more success in this series than you think.
I agree. Arizona was Zach Gallen on the mound against Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani right now is anywhere, I've seen it's 180 all the way up to a 203. I will say, just as for general, your public books, your FanDuels, your Fanatics, your DraftKings, all of those always charge you more on favorites than, especially public favorites like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, that kind of thing. So I'm seeing, upwards of 103 in those places, but I have other places in which I are more of taking more of an educated sports bettors. Let's just put it that way, guys who bet for a living, and you get lower numbers. I'm seeing as low as like 182 right now on the Dodgers. A lot of times that tells you where the value is. And that would be on Arizona, and I would agree. As great as Ohtani has been, and going for the Cy Young, look at the guys in the National League. We've got a lot of guys out there that have been just as good as he has. Mizrahi's been fantastic. The guy pitching for Philadelphia, Sanchez, today, and then we saw it yesterday in the former Giant, what he's done. So this is going to be a great Cy Young run in the National League, and I really don't care about individual awards. I'm not getting them, shit, but it's interesting how so many guys have had success, and I think the whole reason is they're throwing strikes. You made a great comment earlier this season about the new system that penalizes guys who pick on the edges and that kind of thing. And that may be one of the reasons why Williams has had more success this year. He's got confidence in what he throws, and he says, "I'm throwing it over the plate. Let's see you hit it." And those are the guys that are having success in Major League Baseball this year. If you go back and look at all those guys, they throw a lot of strikes. So something to keep in mind for more than this game, but for every game we talk about. The Dodgers are without one of their key bats in the lineup, and Mookie's starting to come around. And by the way, Tucker had a really good game the other day, so maybe he's starting to turn it around there. But yeah, to get Arizona at home anywhere from 165 to the 175 range, to me is a bargain. I'm not a big Zach Gallen fan. But the bullpen has been pretty good, better than what we thought it was going to be. And the Dodgers had to use a lot of their key bullpen arms yesterday. They'll still pitch today because it's not a big deal, but still back-to-back. If you chart Major League pitchers, relievers, and back-to-back, they're not as good as they are in the first of the back-to-back. So they're better when they're rested. I think Arizona, even though you got to hold your nose with Zach Gallen on the mound, I think Arizona is clearly the team here that has some betting value.
Mark, I'm riding with you. Diamondbacks, I'm going to take the 1.5. It's only minus 110. I would love to know two things, Brian. One, what's Arizona's record in this series the last 10 years? And two, how many of them have been one-run games? I feel like a lot of these games have been close over the years. D-backs, Dodgers, especially at Chase Field. No question. Arizona gets up for this matchup. Yes, you do have to stomach Gallen a little bit. I love Shohei. I hope he wins the Cy Young. It's been awesome to watch him pitch. Is he going to keep a sub-1 ERA and a sub-1 whip all season? That is my question. I do feel like there has to be a little bit of regression right there. Brian is shaking his head right now. I agree with that. And hey, if you're going to get hit, where are you going to get hit? I've said this for years. If you are the elite of the elite, the best of the best pitchers, who hits you? It's teams in your division. Teams in your division that see you time and time again. Where's it likely to get hit? How about Chase Field, which has one of the best hitting backdrops in all of Major League Baseball? Listen to any ex-MLB player talk. They always say, where do you love to hit? Coors Field, Chase Field. Any hitters that have played there for any period of time, those are always near the top of the list. So I'm going to take the 1.5 with the D-backs. I think that is a very good bet. Someone says, Trigger, why don't you Google your fun facts? Because we do this show off the dome. So I don't really come
We
in
don't have
like,
time to do it. We've got all these
yeah,
listeners.
like,
Somebody
and I
just ask Siri right now or one of those.
yeah, like I'll try to do them as the show goes, but like I'm also spending my time as I just hit a menu. I almost X'd out of the show, so thankfully I didn't do that. I spend my time trying to bet, and like I'm more worried about betting. And then we do this show on the fly. I mean, we don't know the games we're going to talk about. So yeah, sometimes I don't have the exact number. Sometimes I can Google them throughout the show. But again, it's also just like, that's something I'll go look at throughout the day. But like, that's not really what, like, I'm more interested in making numbers. I'm looking at pictures. It's digging for info on Twitter is where I spend most of my time, and like looking at like a record or a trend. But again, I do think it's relevant here because Arizona has consistently played the Dodgers tight. And so far this series, they win on opening night. Last night's a 1-run loss. I think this is going to be another close game. So, Brian, what am I looking at for D-backs plus 1.5 here for the juice?
Yeah, we only have 45 minutes. We try to get as many ball games in as we possibly can here. We're looking at the spread for the Diamondbacks. You're getting them at plus 100. Yeah, just about everywhere.
That might go on the client card for your boy at some point. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like minus 110. Yeah, we'll take that. That's what we'll start the parlay off with. D-backs plus 1.5. And you know what? I don't know if our buddy going to the game tonight. He said he's sitting like third row. So shout out to you, whoever is that. But
I said we should have set him up with some WagerTalk gear.
I know. Yeah. I know. We got to get they need a new shipment of like swag to the home office. I feel like we're due for some new gear. But hey, if he is a Dodgers fan, then maybe they'll win by 1 for him. I don't know what if he's what the affiliation there is for him. But if he's a Dodgers fan, hey, maybe you root for a close game. But for Mark Lambert, he said he's on Diamondbacks money line, so I'm going to be rooting for the D-backs to win. All right, Mike S., I'm coming to you. This was a loss for me yesterday. It's an early game. I know folks want to talk some early day baseball, so let's take a look at this one. Mike S. says Marlins Nats pick'em price. I'll side with the fish. Tokyo Brandon, over to you. This one's early. Marlins Nationals. What do you got here?
Yeah, so we got Max Meyer and Alvarez. I don't have enough numbers on Alvarez to make a educated assessment of him, but let's see. Washington's a weird team. Like, they've been cashing a lot of first 5 overs. But overall, as a team in full games, I have their hitting rank 17 out of 30 in current form. So I haven't looked into it that deep, but are they just exploding at the beginning of games and then just tapering off? That could be what's happening. They really hit the crap out of Max Meyer, though. 364 average with a 1073 OPS against him. Granted, the sample size is small. It's only 22 at bats. So take it with somewhat of a grain of salt. But Ruiz, Jacob Young, if these guys are in the starting lineup, we could see some hits from Washington. And as we have been saying in past shows, the first 5 over 1.5 for Washington has been cashing somewhat like an ATM. Bullpen wise, Washington's bullpen is atrocious. They're ranked 22 out of 30. Miami's bullpen is actually pretty good. So, I hate to give conflicting opinions, but I think Washington will score 2 in the first 5, but Miami's probably the side to win the game here, I would imagine. I haven't played either one, but I will give more consideration to the Washington team total and double play 2 of us for 3 days at a huge discount. You can also take a triple play. 1 capper for 3 days was about 30% off for a 3-day pass. So grab something from us if you enjoy watching the show and you enjoy our opinions.
Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot here to break a little bit of a tie. I like the under in this game. And the reason I like the under, I've been a big Max Meyer guy this year. I don't think Andrew Alvarez is that bad. I think this Marlins lineup is not great. I know they kind of broke out a little bit last night. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Miles Michaelis was warming up to pitch at the All-Star game for the Home Run Derby on Tuesday night. He just got he had an inning, and all the other innings he wasn't bad, but for one inning, he was just throwing BP. He just threw straight up batting practice. That's how the Marlins got them. Well, that's what, yeah. But the rest of the time he was fine. And he's, there was one inning where I thought they were going to bring the L screen out because he was just throwing batting practice. Other than that, though, here's the problem I have with the Nationals right now. The first two games of the series, they're having bad at-bats all of a sudden. This is a team that's been so hot all year. Came into play yesterday, 4th in the league in WRC+. We have been talking about this Nats offense all season. And TB, you've been right about it. So you're hey, just keep going back to the well of the Nationals. Well, you've been right about it to that point. Brian, I've seen some bad at-bats the last 2 days. I'm worried it's a little bit contagious. I'm worried that a guy like Max Meyer that can get a lot of swing and miss might be able to take advantage of that here.
Yeah, I agree. Meyer is against Alvarez. Alvarez is a lefty. He's got 15.2 innings so far this year, and I've been a little bit impressed by his work. His strikeout minus walk ratio is 18.8. Now, granted, it's small sample size, 15.2 innings, but the last 2 years he's got about 40 innings in, and his ground ball rate is 54.6. That's excellent. He doesn't put the ball in the air. He's not a fly ball pitcher. And I like him. I right now, nobody knows anything about him. And I think there's some value on playing him here. We're seeing the line is basically a pick 'em regardless, either way, 105, 110, either way, with a total of 8 and is slightly to the over. I could see an under here. Meyer's been great out there this season. And I kind of hinted on it yesterday that Miami's known for their starting pitching. Well, he's the only guy really having a good year from the starting pitchers. The rest of them have either had their ups and downs or they've been very disappointing. And that's strange for Miami because they have some really good pitchers and they got some guys down in the minors that they could bring up. So I think the second half of the season, we're going to see better starting pitching out of Miami. I think it's just a smaller sample size on how they pitched so far this season. And I kind of agree with you on the under here. I really like the way Alvarez has been out there. I don't know how he's going to go, but my projections are showing him to go, 5.5 innings, Meyer 5.5, 6 innings, something to that effect. So I think both of them will have some success here. If you're looking to play the first half, you can get that under 4.5 at minus 125. That's not a bad bet. In fact, I think I'm going to use that as my part of the parlay today. It's an early game, so we'll get this over with early. But I think both of these teams will do very well pitching-wise in the first half of this game. So we're going to play the under 4.5 in the first 5. And I see it anywhere from 25 to 35. So we'll just go 30. Minus 130 on Meyer and Alvarez to go under the first 5.
Yeah, I love that. Colin says Max Meyer is a change pitcher this year. He's found his zone. I mean, listen, I thought he showed flashes of it last year, for sure. But he's right now. So this is what I'm going to be looking for today. And this is why I think the under makes a ton of sense. I think your first 5 under makes a ton of sense. The Nationals, I said they didn't have good at bats last night. They didn't get a single hit off of average pitching until the 5th inning. And, that's just it was bad at bat after bad at bat. Meyer is that slider sweeper combo that he has is filthy. He throws a tight slider that's gets on you quickly. It's 91. Most guys are not throwing 91 mile an hour sliders. No, the average pitcher's slider is a little bit slower than that. But then his sweeper, same exact arm slot, but takes a hard left, right? And so if you're the hitter, especially a right-handed hitter, that's not easy to hit. That sweeper very quickly breaks hard to the left. It's I think it's a deadly combo, and it's part of the reason I think he's nasty. I don't think he's getting enough credit. I'm with you, Colin. I think he's having past years held against him a little bit. when the Marlins were specifically like holding him back, having him work stuff out. So I really think the Marlins played the long game with him and like sacrificed some short-term results for him the last couple of years to make him a better pitcher. And it's finally paying off. So yeah, that's a great, I think it's a good call right there on,
he's getting further away from throwing his fastball, and that's not that great of a pitch for him. So
it's his third pitch now.
The more you've got confidence in your off-speed pitches and other things and less fastballs, that's the guys that are having success.
Yeah, it's a clear third. His four-seamer is a clear third pitch for him now. It's not even sweeper slider are his two sort of main pitches at this point. All right, let's head back to the chat. We still have TB in here.
There was one guy who gave us a super chat who wanted to talk Mets Seattle.
Oh, TB all over it. I don't know how I missed that. Well, you're the guy to talk.
He didn't put it in his super chat, but he put it in a comment right after it. Yeah.
All right. Well, TB honest, toes today. That one, I pride myself on the chat. I usually don't miss anything in the chat. I missed that. TV's all over it, and you've been all over the Mariners in this series. Believe you used them in the parlay back-to-back games, and they've won back-to-back games. They've actually won, is the current run for them, 8 in a row, playing incredible baseball. So Mariners, Mets to you. How are you seeing this one?
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and up to now, the 2 games, the Mets were throwing out openers and Brazoban and, weird stuff like this. But today they have a serious guy, a legitimate starter on the mound today in Peralta against the Seattle Mariners. In his career, 47 at-bats, 149 average against, and a 486 OPS. Those are sterling numbers. Unbelievably good numbers, and Kirby's numbers against the Mets are pretty average. So taking a look at bullpens, they're both very solid right now, top 10 bullpens for both sides. And hitting, Seattle has a bit of an advantage. Also, Kirby has an advantage in his walk ratio because his command control is just incredible. I mean, it's way under what I consider average. He's only walking 26% of the batters he's striking out. So I'm conflicted here. I don't want to take Seattle again because I think it's too hard to beat a team 3 games in a row. I don't know if I'm convinced enough to take the Mets, but I certainly would take a Seattle team total under. If you could get a 4.5, man, slap that stuff. But it's probably going to be 3.5, I imagine. And their first 5 is probably going to be 1.5, unfortunately. So these are the kind of things that I look at when I cap a game. I'm like, whoa, if Seattle's 4.5, I'm going to jump all over it. And then I look at, and it's 3.5. And then I consider, do I take it or not? So this is just kind of my thinking process. So I would consider a Seattle under 3.5.
Brian, I got to be honest. So I obviously, every time we talk to Mariners, I shout myself out because, of course, last week I said before the A's game, I said, this is the time to buy the Mariners. They've won every single game since 8 in a row. But I even came on yesterday and I kind of said, I lean the Mets at this price. It's not like the Mariners. Now, yesterday was a convincing win, but it's not like the Mariners have just been bludgeoning teams on this run. They've won a lot of close games, a lot of games that could have gone the other way. I kind of think the Mets is the value here, but I'm not. You're not going to get my money on the Mets. I'm not going against the Mariners right now. I would be contradicting myself if I did. So talk to me, Mets, Mariners, and do you see anything on the total?
I like the Mets in this game. I think from a starting pitching standpoint, I prefer Peralta over Kirby. I've said this many times before that because of the pitching situation in Seattle, all of their pitchers, when they go on the road, their ERA is about a full run higher, some a run and a half higher. So a lot of these guys for Seattle, now granted, they're great. And by the way, Gilbert, great start yesterday. I thought maybe earlier in the season he was hurt, but he's continued to pitch well. Hats off to him. He was right. I was wrong. But I prefer, on a neutral, I would prefer Peralta over Kirby. And Seattle's offense has hit pretty well, but they've done most of that on the road. Texas does that. Teams that are playing pitchers' ballparks, your San Diego's. I said that the other day when I used the Padres as a nice underdog. When they go on, the hitters go on the road, they hit better, and it's because they get away out of the ballpark they're in. And the Mets are in a ballpark also that prevents runs, and it's a pitcher's ballpark. So now the Mets go on the road. They're in the same situation. So where other teams go into Seattle, if you're a team like a Boston or LA or something, you go into Seattle, and those are pretty good hitting ballparks until you get to Seattle, and it affects you. I don't think it affects the Mets as much. So I'm in agreement with TB. It's tough to beat a team 3 in a row. And hey, people, talk about the falling knife and all that. To me, it just brings more value. If a team is on an 8-game winning streak, it brings more value to the underdog. And I think there's value here. You can get upwards of 130 with the Mets here. A lot of 127, 128s out there. I think the Mets are a pretty good play. Don't know if I'm going to make it on my card today, but I definitely see reasons to play the Mets here. And from a bullpen standpoint, they're in just as good a bullpen shape as Seattle is. So, yeah, I think there's some value on the Mets in this one.
Got a comment on this. Roberto, he says, Adam, you aren't allowed to talk about the Mariners. You didn't even have money on them. I actually gave a free 4%er out on this show, if I remember correctly. Or no, I'm sorry. It wasn't the one I gave out on the show, but it was a 4%er for me last Monday before this streak started. I actually bet them multiple times last week, and they've only won since. So I do feel like I'm able to comment on that because and here's the reason. Here's the reason I stopped betting them. This was the whole point I was trying to make last week when I made it a 4% play. I said that you were not going to get prices to bet this Mariners team very long. The way the books have priced the Mariners all year has been too high. So they dipped down. There was good prices in that A's series. I bet them twice in that A's series. And I haven't been able to bet them since because the books have since adjusted. Now, it doesn't mean I didn't think they were going to win any of those games. But ever since the Diamondbacks series, they've been overvalued. They're overvalued again here. You have to decide if you want to, pony up your money and take the Mets if you think that's a good pick. Brian's saying it's kind of a good pick. I'll go off of one other thing you said, Brian. You can get a half run in the first 5 with Peralta at plus a half run for minus 125 right now. That's not bad either because Peralta is pretty much guaranteed to give you 5 innings, and they're usually pretty good.
Not
so
a bad way to look at it.
So your boy did have money on the Mariners. It's just, the value's gone. Can't just be laying bad numbers. TB, let's get you back in here. Do you know how you want to close out the parlay? We're going to do a second game after this, but I was just curious if you know where you want to go for the parlay game. You're allowed to say you want to think about it. I could go to the chat for one, and then you could close it out.
Please do.
All right.
Is anybody in the chat asking for the Pittsburgh-Houston game?
You know what? Paul Skeens is on the mound. We should talk about that game. Let's go Pittsburgh-Houston.
Yeah.
Someone's like, Adam is all over the place. Are you new here? That's just I did a bang energy this morning as the show's going. I haven't been doing 300 milligrams. I've been down to 200, but this was all I could find today. So you're getting the all over the place trig. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Pittsburgh with Skeens against Arrighetti for Houston. I find this game very fascinating. Skeens is on the road, both righties. We were looking at anything from a 146 to a 156 on Pittsburgh with Skeens with a total of 7.5. The reason I find it interesting is we all know about Paul Skeens, one of the elite pitchers in Major League Baseball. Other than his first start this year, he has been unhittable all season long, basically. And Arrighetti is a guy who basically came out of nowhere this year, and he's been very good. But yet, you can still catch upwards of 139 on Arrighetti at home, which tells me that the people who make the lines and the people who bet early on these games, a lot of guys that are in the know, bet for a living, they think Arrighetti's going to have some regression today. And I kind of do too. And I don't. This game's not going to make my card at all. But I found it interesting that you're getting a guy who has been as good as Arrighetti is at this price at home. Interesting handicap. I don't have anything on it. I was wondering if either one of you guys had anything to add on this.
I'll let TB go first. I'm still in timeout from the chat, so I still need a couple minutes to breathe. Let TB go on this one.
Yeah, you guys, this is mellow, Adam. What are you guys talking about?
That's right.
So yeah, this is going to be my parlay leg. I'm going to go. I'm going to go against the grain here. I think Arrighetti's pitching amazing right now, and I think he can hold Pittsburgh down. Yes, the Pittsburgh lineup is a little bit scary, but I think he can hold them down for 5 innings. I'm going to take the under 3.5 in this game. If there's a 4 out there, I'll take under 4. But are they 3.5s right now, Brian? But I'll take the first 5. I'll take a first 5 under in this one because
I'm seeing a 3.5 over 35, where I'm seeing a couple places that have 4s minus 120, 125. But the vast majority are 3.5s.
Okay, you make the call, Adam.
You
but
can
I'm
get
gonna
the under 3.5 plus 115 plus 120. That's not
Sure.
a bad
Oh,
deal.
if it's flat, I think if under 3.5, 115, 120, I think most people will be able to get a 4 with whatever the juice is. You want to do under 4, TB? Because I know most of the, I know we don't quote them on this here, but most of the offshores are not going to do it under 3.5 plus 115. I feel like 4s will be out there. My dog just flipped out at something. Sorry about that. What's under 4, Brian? What are we looking at for the under 4?
I'm seeing under 4, 117, 120, 125.
We'll call it minus 120. You can alt it on some of the legals. So that's going to be Pirates, Astros, first 5 under 4, correct?
Yep.
Under 4 or first 5 under 4.
Yes. Okay. Someone needs to be banned from our chat for saying Skeens is overrated. Come on, dude. He's having an off season, but that guy
he's not though. He had one bad start.
That guy
one bad start.
That guy is
an amazing
defense,
not even him.
He's an amazing talent. He's not overrated.
What's O'Neal Cruz's ERA from that game is what I want to know. Because those runs should be charged to O'Neal Cruz. Those were not Paul Skeen's fault. Those were routine plays that need to be made in center field. And then for whatever reason, because the ball didn't hit him in the face or something, you can't give him an error. Why is that? I hate that about baseball. Why they won't give an error on a ball that hits grass that was so blatantly misplayed by the outfielder. That's a conversation for a different day. The conversation for right now, though, TB, I am very much with you. I think Spencer Arrighetti is a live dog here. Had I not used Diamondbacks in the parlay, I think I would have used Astros plus 1.5. I will wait and hope that people bet Paul Skeens today, because if you give me another 10 to 15 cents and get this one into the plus 1.5, minus 115, minus 120 range, this probably makes my client card. Connor Griffin out of the lineup for the Pirates. He gets hurt. He hit the IL the other day. I know I've been very pro Pirates this year. I feel like they're a tad overrated right now, just in general. And I will be looking for spots to play against them. I think there's some value in playing against this Pirates team right now. They're 5 games over 500. And the Astros, slowly but surely getting a little bit healthier. I don't love this Astros team, but they're better than they were 5 weeks ago, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And Arrighetti is someone that I think still has upside that hasn't really been, people don't really know how good he is yet. We talked about it his last start. He pitched well then too. So TV, I'm with you on the under. And I also like the Astros plus 1.5.
Yep. Super chat. Check it out.
I'm gonna get that. I gotta go to Bayou. Adam weaning himself off the caffeine. We must be in a recession. No, that was something my doctor suggested. Has nothing to do with the market
as well. And I'm not a doctor. I only play one on this video.
Well, what happened was, I'll tell you, I bought these. I've been spending extra money to get cleaner ones that I order that only have 200 milligrams that I like better, but I ran out. So Yeah, we're realizing on air that the 300 milligram bang from the gas station does in fact hit differently. You're seeing that right now.
That's the difference between your generation, the new generation, and me and TB. I have water. Do you have water, Brandon?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very hydrated. That's all I drink the rest of the day. This is just so I can come bring the heat for you guys 9 a.m. Eastern every day. Brian, if I had to get up and do this show at your time, I might need to find something stronger than the energy drink.
It would be like Bugs Bunny in that cartoon where his eyes are bloodshot.
All right, Freebird. First of all, thank you very much to Freebird. It's a very generous donation. All the donations on this show go to charity. We don't the entire amount of money donated on the YouTube shows all goes to charity. 100% of it. So shout out to Freebird. TB has been fire in this role. Anytime someone just says, give me this, and we make him pick a game, it's done really well. So Tokyo Brandon, Freebird wants to know, what is the best team total play today? Give us a game we have not talked about yet that we can close the show out on that as a good team total.
And by the way, guys, double play, 2 of us for 3 days, huge discount. So grab that, or grab just our single plays as well. We're all probably going to have a play out today. There's a lot to like on the board. I have 4 plays out today in MLB. So Freebird, you must be a Leonard Skinner fan. That's a great song, by the way. Van Zandt. Anyways, let's get to this. I already gave one of my favorite team totals on the board, which is I like the Seattle Mariners under. Because I like how Peralta's pitching against them. What was the other one I said? What was the one we just covered just a minute ago? Sorry. Let's see.
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh,
you said
it's a Pirates team total under. Was it? I believe.
Yep.
Aaron just finished that game. Yeah.
Yep, no, that's okay. So just so because I want to give him a thorough answer because it was a great donation. You said, so these are team total unders. You like Mariners team total under, Pirates team total under, correct?
I do. Yes.
Brian, do you want to throw a game out there that we haven't talked about yet? All right, let's do that.
I'll throw out a team total. The Colorado Rockies have been, I've not understand these lines in LA. The Angels are not much better, if any, than the Rockies. The Rockies team total is 3.5 to the over at -130. I think they can score 4 runs against this Angels with Urena in the bullpen. I think they'll continue to hit well in this one. It's sort of like the Angels is a good hitting stadium anyway, and the Angels have bad pitchers. So I think Colorado can get 4 runs on that.
Yeah, let's talk about this game. Tokyo Brandon, don't look now, but the Colorado Rockies kind of, we're back to playing good ball. They took 2 of 3 at home over the weekend to the Giants. I think that's pretty impressive. I don't think many people thought that they would win 2 of 3 in that series. They were pretty big underdogs, and they've opened up this series with back-to-back wins. They are going for a road sweep right here. We had Joe Adele have a Jose Canseco moment last night where he had a ball hit his head and end up in the stands. Just a hallmark of a team that Bryan Leonard said would probably finish with the worst record in Major League Baseball this year. I think they could still head there. How are you seeing Angels Rockies?
Someone in the chat, was it Zane, asked who my walks projections. It's on my Twitter X. I already put up every starter's walk projections today, so take a look at that. Tokyo Underbar Brandon. So for this game, Rockies, Angels. Yeah, I have to agree. I can't back the Rockies with that bullpen. Their bullpen is horrific, but the Angels bullpen is rather horrific as well. And the Rockies are hitting right now number 7 in MLB. Will they hit Urena? I'm not sure. Urena's pitching actually pretty well, but I think it's a little fugazi because he's 2-4. But records don't mean much. What means a lot to me is expected ERA and WHIP, and his WHIP's pretty high and his ERA is pretty low, which tells me that he's putting guys on base, but he's getting lucky that they're not scoring. So eventually this water balloon is going to burst, I think. And hey, the Rockies are hitting number 7 in MLB, so I would like their team total over as well. I completely agree with Brian. Sorry not to give a different play, but that's how I think.
I'm going to give a play in this one. It's not going to be what you think it is. I actually kind of really like the Angels today. They will not make it's not going to be a client play. I do think there's value on the money line, even though it is a little bit juiced. I like Walbert Arena. That's the thing. I mean, the guy throwing 98, he throws 98, but his fastball is not even his primary pitch. It's a good fastball changeup mix. And kind of going back to what you're saying, TB, like this is just one where, boy, over the course of 9 innings, if the Angels can't get this one, I mean, this just feels like one that they really just should win. I mean, listen, he's striking guys out. Like I kind of feel like he could like dominate the Rockies hitters. Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be runs in this game at some point, right? It doesn't mean he's going to be in this game forever. But I do like Arena enough where if I had to bet a side in this game, I would find a way to be on the Angels money line. I'll be really surprised if the Rockies pull off a road sweep here.
All right, let's close it out. We're getting late.
Let's close it out. Yep, let's close it out.
Let's go 3 for 3 instead of 2 for 3.
I think we should do that. I think the last we did hit a couple parlays, and then every day since we've gone 2 and 1. I was the one that ruined it yesterday. So I'm going to try not to do that today, and I will open it up with Diamondbacks plus 1.5. It's even money. Brian, this one's early. So remember, this one is early. Marlins Nats under 4.5 in the first 5, minus 130. And then we have another first 5 under for Tokyo Brandon. Pirates Astros under 4, minus 120. So you got 2 first 5 totals. That's Pirates Astros under 4, minus 120. Marlins Nats under 4.5, minus 130. And then you have a full game spread bet, Diamondbacks plus 1.5, even money. That is the parlay for today. The 3 of us will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. If you have not subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel yet, please do it. We are so close to 250,000. Again, I don't know what the 3 of us get for it. Maybe I said yesterday an ice cream social, maybe some new WagerTalk gear. I don't know. Maybe we can talk them into some new WagerTalk gear. And maybe we'll send some out.
That's basis gear. Come on now.
Total basis gear.
Gear.
Yeah, you know what?
I
think Carm funds some of the puck time gear, so I don't know if I want to talk myself into that. But but yeah, and maybe we can give some out to some random people in the chat. That's what I'm gonna text the bosses for. When we hit 250, let's get another round of WagerTalk gear and let's give some away for free. I think that's fair. But go follow. Yeah, go subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a great day. Good luck today. Enjoy some day baseball. The 3 of us will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys then.